So yesterday I took my car apart. Took, I don't know, 6 hours to tear it all the way down to where I could get to where I could access the starter. It was a really ridiculous process, and once I got the starter replaced, put everything back together, 8.5 hours later the car didn't start. All the lights came on, starter didn't engage at all, so maybe I missed a wire connection somewhere. Didn't document it the first time around, figured I would do it this time around and be real smart about it. So yeah, here we go. Maybe this will help somebody else out too. As you can see, just took the cover off, took the tube off right here. There they are right there. Those are the only two things that I've done so far. Alright, pretty much the only tools you'll need: a 10 and a 12 open and close inch combination wrench, 3/8 inch driver for and an extension, half-inch driver, and the converter for leverage on some of the tighter bars. I don't know the size of the starter bolts yet. I think they're 14. When I get to that, I'll put that in the video. But so you've got a 10 and a 12 deep sockets, and then 10 and a 12 short sockets, because your hands will reach blindly into some corners. You will be working blindly the way they designed this thing. When I pull this part out, you'll see. Okay, now for this part, we are going to remove these bolts, all 4 of these. Don't have to take these hoses off. The first time around I didn't. It would probably be easier if you did, but no big deal. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do this. This is the next big thing. And then after I get done with that, I'll come back. Alright, so took off the nuts and bolts that were securing the throttle body. You'll want to remove this last electrical connection right here, and then it should just lift straight up and off. Okay, so lifted the throttle body up and off. This is the bottom side. There's the top side. There's the plug that I removed. Now note that these plugs are really tough. You can abuse them quite a bit, but definitely be careful because you don't want to break it. That's just something that doesn't have to be repaired, you know? Okay, so next up on the agenda, I'm going to take this top cover off. I'm going to go ahead and put something in this hole right here. Take this top cover off, remove the exhaust manifold. Top cover removed. Let's see. So now there are a few more bolts we need to take care of. These 2 nuts, and then 3 bolts here, here, and here. Okay, and then we'll be able to slide the exhaust manifold back. Now you can't see it, but there's a manifold chamber right here, which goes out this way, and you have to curve your hands around to get to 3 bolts back there that you can't see, and you can't reach from underneath the vehicle. No lie, you cannot reach it from underneath the vehicle. So exhaust manifold next. Remove this. We'll need to disconnect that wiring harness, and we'll need to disconnect 2 more wiring harnesses down here. You can't see them from this shot, but I'll get to that. And then there's a bolt all the way at the bottom of this bracket. It's just a narrow metal bracket, and it's a bolt that holds this whole thing on. So okay, I'm gonna undergo this arduous task and let you know kind of how long it took yesterday. Total work time to take it all the way down and put the starter in and put it all the way back up, 8 hours. I'm hoping it's a lot shorter today, so here goes. Okay, pro tip before removing the intake manifold all the way off: if you remove this bracket screw holding this bracket in, and that bracket screw holding another wiring harness in, you'll actually be able to swing this whole thing over this way. So I'm going to do that first before removing this last bolt over here. Okay, so I got those brackets off. One down here, it had 2 clips on it that I unclipped. I'll show you more clearly in a little while. It's really cramped. But yeah, got this thing off, unplugged this harness. There's one more screw at the bottom that I need to remove. Alright, we got that bottom screw out. Move these harnesses out of the way. Now watch. Don't forget there's a metal gasket in there. It might vary by your model. Do you see this ridiculous thing? That's this chamber that you gotta remove to even get to the starter. Like, there's the starter. And you can't work on it until you get to this. So, okay, 2 bolts here. And then 3 bolts at the bottom. I'm gonna get to work on that. Be back. So, I got those 3 screws in the back out. Just imagine reaching in here blindly with 2 hands. I went behind here with this hand with the ratchet, and then over the top with this hand to guide it. Okay, should be able to just remove everything now. So we can take first, let's see, remember the 2 clips I blindly unplugged were plugged onto this from the wiring harness. That one screw that stops you from taking the whole manifold out is all the way at the bottom. Pretty ridiculous. These clips or right here. So basically these plug into those metal pieces. I guess is the way to keep it on the actual from sliding around as well. Okay, so gasket metal. Notice that it's keyed, it's curved over here, and it's got a cutout over here. It matches this. So when you put it back together, make sure you get that correct. Okay. So those 3 screws we were getting at the whole time. Just imagine this is the inside right here. There. You're reaching for these 3 screws without being able to see anything. Just to remove this piece. Okay. Took me hours to get there. Didn't know what kind of effort was required. Okay, and there, by golly, is the starter. So really I need to check and see if there's a loose ground or something that I can run. Not really sure what else I can do though, so here we go. Kids, so my mistake. You know what I did? I put the starter in this wire right here. I did not plug that all the way in as far as it would go. That was the only reason it wouldn't start. So I'm gonna plug up this protective boot, start putting this thing all back together. Super happy that it's actually working. Notice that I did hook up the battery to do this, so smart thing to do, make sure you unhook the battery first before you do anything else. Or plug. So, note to self, note to anybody watching this vid, if you tear it down, make sure you put it all the way back together. Had to tear this thing all the way back down again just for a plug. That's very frustrating. Don't make the same mistake I did. I'm gonna start putting this bad boy back together now, out of excitement. Yay. So check it out. I don't think if you know if this is nerdy or not, but I labeled where all the screws were. Yeah, good idea to do. This way you make sure you don't end up with any extra pieces. Nobody likes doing that, especially in a car. Like, that's probably important to have. So, alright, here goes.